Good morning, I'm Judge Amy Carter. This is Courtroom 1, Session 1. Could I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Coffee Kennedy Swanson on behalf of the Office of State Attorney.
Brian Wynn on behalf of the Office of Public Defender.
Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Mackenzie Jones.
Mr. Jones, you were here in 19 CF 8685. You were arrested for driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions. There is probable cause, sir, for the offense. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Yes.
I'm gonna leave your bond set at $2,500, but I'm not gonna revoke your bond in 19 CF 8324. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Michael McCreamy.
Mr. McCrimmon, you were here in 19 CF 8702. You also have 19 CF 8701. In both of those matters, you've been arrested for battery with 2 prior convictions. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm gonna order that you're not to have any contact with Mitchell Marbias, and you're not to possess any weapons or any firearms while out on bond, sir. 19 CF 8702, your bond is $2,500, and in 19 CF 8701, your bond will be $150. Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Dorothy Collins.
Oh. Dorothy Collins?
Dorothy.
Okay. How about Eugene Bannister? Cameo Eugene Bannister. Okay. We'll reset. Ms. Collins, you are here in case number 19MM402. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. Is there an offer for Ms. Collins?
Adjudication credit for time served, no return.
All right. Ms. Collins, did you want to accept that offer, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Okay, could you sign the plea form, please?
Yes, I will.
6 days. Okay.
Will re-signed, Your Honor.
Yes. Thank you. Ms. Collins, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up today?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you on probation?
No.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that
No.
would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
All right, ma'am. Going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 6 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 6 days time served. You can't return to the Circle K, and you're gonna have to pay court costs. Those are due by June 17th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, ma'am.
Okay, I have 6 more days left.
No, you're done. You'll be released today.
I'll be today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning, sir. Your name? Your name, sir.
Henry Raymond.
Pardon me?
Henry Raymond.
Mr. Raymond. Okay. All right.
Your Honor, on Harrison, we'd ask it not be rolled until he refused on 6/15, 6/16, and now today.
Mr. Wynn, do you want to try to go talk to him, and I'll do it one more time for tomorrow? It's a trespass case.
Your Honor, we'll try one more time.
Okay. Mr. Harrison? You refuse. You're Mr. Raymond?
Yes, Judge Carter.
Sir, you are here in 19 MM 5016. You were arrested for disorderly conduct and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Raymond?
Adjudication 5 days. Yes,
How
Barrett.
many does he have? 4, okay. So, Mr. Raymond, you'd be released today. Did you want to accept the state's offer?
Yes, that would be nice.
Okay, just sign the plea form, please.
Guilty.
Mr. Raymond, did you read the plea form before you signed it, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
A couple of them, but I'll just put them in the mail.
You do?
No, I have no questions, because I understand it perfectly.
Okay. Are you on probation, sir?
No, ma'am.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes,
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
no,
Okay. Sir, I'm going to accept your plea. I will adjudicate you guilty as to both counts, sentence you to 4 days in the Orange County Jail. I'm sorry, to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 4 days' time served. You'll also have to pay court costs. Those are due by June 17th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. All right, thank you. Good morning. Are you Mr. Phillips? Sir? You're Mr. Phillips?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. You are here in 19 MM 4970. You were arrested for petty theft and trespass in a structure. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Phillips?
There is not, Your Honor.
Oh. Oh, due to the theft?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Phillips, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You need to make sure that you stay in contact with your attorney. That way you get notice of your next court date, sir.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can't return to the Walmart.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Good morning. Your name?
Wesley Venable.
Mr. Venable, you're here in 19 CF 144. You failed to appear for pretrial conference on May 15th of this year. Your bond is $2,500, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
ask the court if you could help me lower my bond. My father has Parkinson's and I'm his main caregiver. And 250 is hard for me to make. The 100 can make easier.
Okay. Sir, I don't have the authority to modify the capias. The trial judge is the one who issues that, so you'll have to have your attorney file a motion with that judge to see if it can be lowered.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Robert Young.
Mr. Young, you're here in 19 CF 8670. You were arrested for petty theft, with 2 prior convictions. You also have 19 CF 8671, possession of cocaine. There is probable cause for each of the offenses. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $1,000, and your bond on count, or on the second case, on 8671, it's going to be $150. Is this Walmart? And you also can't return to the Walmart, sir, at 10500 West Colonial Drive. Thank you. Good morning, your name?
W. Kane.
Mr. Kane, you have case number 19 CF 8686. You were arrested for criminal mischief greater than $1,000. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $1,000, and you're not to return to the Eola Pizza Company or Metro Pizza Company. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, your name?
Keith Crane.
Mr. Crane, you are here in 19 CF 8707. You were arrested for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $1,000, sir.
Thank you.
Bond, Your Honor? Yes, I know. Nineteen CF 7491, sir, I'm gonna revoke your bond at this time, and I'm gonna reset it at $3,000. Thank you. Sir, good morning, your name?
Corey Ferguson.
Mr. Ferguson, this is 19 CF 8406. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for the offenses of robbery with a firearm and first-degree murder. Are you still represented by Mr. Burnham?
Excuse me?
Are you represented by Mr. Burnham?
Yeah, as of now, but I'm on as of now.
Okay. He is representing you? Or you also filled out an application for the public defender, so I'm just trying to figure out who is your lawyer.
They didn't tell me. I just filled out the application.
Okay. So Mr. Burnham is still representing
But
you?
I know my parents gonna hire Rob Mandela if anything go any
Okay, so
further.
you didn't answer my question. Does Mr. Burnham still represent you?
As of now,
Correct.
yes, ma'am. Like,
Okay. Do you want him to be present for the hearing today,
is the hearing gonna be today?
right now?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what I can do is I can have my office reach out to him and let him know that you're here and you've been arrested on the warrant. I don't know if you've been in contact with him or not, and see if he can come tomorrow morning, or you can proceed with the public defender today. What would you like me to do?
Okay. Okay.
What would you like to do?
Is that's his name, right?
That's you or
No,
not.
this is Mr. Wynn. He's a public defender.
Uh-huh.
Office, but you've already hired the lawyer.
I believe tomorrow. I think my lawyer gonna be here tomorrow.
You want me to
If
reset
we-
your case for tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we can do that. So do you want me to do you want to reach out to Mr. Burnham? Is that what you'd like to do, or you're hiring Mr. Mandel?
Yeah, I'll reach out to him first and see. Then as I speak with my parents, we'll see what Rob gonna do too.
Okay, no problem, sir. We'll reset your case for tomorrow.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Justin Gibbons.
Mr. Gibbons?
Yes.
You are here in 19 CF 8705. You were arrested for attempted robbery with a weapon and aggravated assault with a weapon. There is probable cause for the offenses. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $2,500. Your bond on count 2 will be $150. You're also not to have any contact with Mr. Santiago or return to the Lynx bus station. Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Skylar Hain.
Mr. Hain, this is 19 CF 8696. You were arrested for possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver. There's probable cause. Your affidavit asking for the public defender to represent you, sir, states that you make $650 per week. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you don't have any family members or children you take care of?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're gonna need to try and hire a lawyer before your next court date. If you're unable to, you need to let the judge know and they can revisit the issue at that time. Okay, you make too much money to qualify for the public defender.
I mean, I haven't worked in a while. They asked me what I did for work. I said tree work, but I've been out of work for at least a month now. I told them that.
Okay, so so then you don't have an income at this time?
No, not at this time. I told them that. I haven't been working in over a month.
Okay, I'm gonna make the correction on your affidavit. I'm gonna put it at 0,
Okay.
and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
Okay.
And your bond is $1,000, sir.
Right.
Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Ellis Jones, ma'am.
Mr. Jones, you are here in case number 19 CF 7875. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for burglary of an occupied dwelling, throwing or shooting into an occupied structure or dwelling, and criminal mischief. Your bond on count 1 is $5,000. Your bond on count 2 is $150. Your bond on count 3 is $100. You're not to return to 704 18th Street, and you're not to have any contact with Stephanie Jordan. You're also not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Alan Joseph.
Mr. Joseph, you're here in 19 CF 8703. You were arrested for possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, possession of cocaine, and possession of a controlled substance. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bonds are 100 on count 1, 1,000 on count 2, and 150 on count 3. At this time, I'm going to take no action or not revoke your bond on 19 MM 4932. Good morning. Are you Mr. Owens?
How you doing?
Yes,
Hello.
sir. You're here in case number 19 CF 2842. You failed to appear for case management conference on June 3rd of this year. Your bond is currently set at none. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you if they weren't previously appointed. And sir, you do have reporting requirements when you are released from the jail. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Okay, can I say one thing?
Well, why don't you ask your lawyer first?
he's
Yeah.
indicated that he has that this case has been resolved and he's sentenced on it. And can we just check that?
What's this defendant's last name?
It's Owens, and the case number would be 2019 CF 2842AO. I can repeat that if you need.
I haven't he failed to appear at, looks like. Case management. Let me see if he has any other of these type offenses. I just see this one.
And it's not resolved.
I don't
no.
see a
Okay.
resolution.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
And my last question.
Oh, that's,
Mr. Nguyen, it looked like he was released on a 33-day motion before the information was filed. So that may have been why he thought the case was resolved, but this case is still active. Maybe that's why he didn't know about that.
Okay, thank you. I just take the first off.
No problem.
You're welcome, sir. Have a nice day. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Good morning, Tina Marie Vandergrim.
Ma'am, you're here in case number 19 CF 8706. You were arrested for possession of Xanax and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause for those offenses. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $500, and I'm going to release you on your own recognizance on count 2.
Can you not roll me on both? I have a prescription. I just didn't have, I have a prescription I can prove.
No, ma'am. Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Charles Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you were here in 19 CO 687. You were arrested for soliciting without a permit. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Is there an offer for Mr. Johnson?
adjudication 4 days.
Your Honor, he's going to enter a plea of no contest.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, did you read the plea form, sir, before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
Sir, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 4 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You also have to pay court costs. Those are due by June 17th of 2020. And you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank you, sir. Sir, good morning. Your name?
George Hall.
Mr. Hall, this is 19MM 5079. You were arrested for battery. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with Ms. Taylor. Your bond is gonna be $1,500, and you, sir, you do have reporting requirements when you are released from the jail.
We also ask for no weapons or firearms, Your Honor.
Sir, you're not to possess any weapons or any firearms while you're out on bond. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Michael Harris.
Mr. Harris, this is 19 MM 5072. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Harris?
Adjudication, 3 days, no return.
All right. Mr. Harris, did you want to accept that offer? You'd be released today, sir.
Your Honor, Mr. Harris is going to enter a plea of no contest.
Okay. Mr. Harris, did you read the plea form, sir, before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up? Are you on probation? Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today? No? Okay. Sir, I'm going to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You can't go back to the apartments, the Central Station Apartments at 480 North Orange Avenue, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, along with paying court costs. Those are due by June 17th of 2020. Okay? Thank you, sir. What about Ms. Hunt, Molly Hunt? Okay. We will reset Ms. Hunt. Sir, good morning. Your name? Mr. Jordan. This is 19MM 5074. You were arrested for petty theft. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Jordan?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jordan, your bond at this time is $250.
Well, that's for no return as well, Your Honor.
Mr. Jordan, you also can't return to the Kirkman Road Walmart.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
He is requested to ask if he could be qualified for pretrial release.
State would object because I believe. No,
He was interviewed and didn't qualify.
Sir, you don't qualify for personal release.
So I have no offer for deal from the prosecutor, I mean, get this over with.
Yeah, I
Problem
don't-
is, Your Honor, he has a petty theft, grand theft, he has other theft offenses in his history.
I understand. So, sir, the issue is your case is a theft, you have prior thefts in your history, is what the state's saying. They need time to verify that because it may affect their charging decision on what they actually charge you with. So they're not willing to let you plead today, and because the state, does not have an offer, I can't allow you to plead. It's what the law says. All right? Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Julio Neves.
Oh, we'll reset his case then. Mr. Nieves, you were here in 19 MM 5077. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Nieves?
Adjudication, 4 days, no return.
Mr. Nieves, did you want to accept the offer?
What offer?
4 days. You've got credit for 2 right now, so you've got to be here in 1 more day.
Here and then what's next?
You're going to be released.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay.
Your Honor, can I just have a moment with him prior?
Sure.
I just know that I understand. I heard it's not good news. The way that this way could drop. Okay. Oh yeah. Here and then tomorrow I should be out.
Mr. Nieves, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
I actually I have not. I just signed it just to agree with the terms that one
Sure.
day in here and then I'll be out the next day.
Right, yes, that's what we're gonna do, but I first need you to read the plea form, so why don't you take a
Right.
minute and step back? And then once you're finished, we'll be able to finish your case. How about Mr. Vertus?
Carol.
Bonded. Sir, good morning, your name?
Sean Carroll.
Mr. Carroll, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Osceola County related to a violation of probation for possession of a controlled substance. Your bond is currently set at none. Osceola County will come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there. All right, thank you. Okay, At this time, I'm gonna find a waiver of Mr. Burton's appearance. He's refused, beginning on 6/14 to come to court. There is probable cause in 19 CF 8553 for burglary of a conveyance and for petty theft. Bond on count 1 is $3,500. Bond on count 2 is $100. He's not to have any contact with Edwin Cologne or return to the scene. Good morning, your name?
Timothy Hogue.
Mr. Hogue, this is 19 CF 8609. You were arrested for burglary of a conveyance and grand theft. Pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. You're not to return to 2125 Willow Brick Road. You're not to have any contact with David and Janice Stewart. Your bond on count 1 is $3,500, and your bond on count 2 is $500. Thank you, sir. Yep, 8612. 8612? I do. 1 second, sir. You also have 19 CF 8612. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. For burglary of a conveyance and grand theft 3rd degree of a motor vehicle. Your bond on count 1 is $3,500. Your bond on count 2 is $1,000. You are not to have, you're not to return to 2112 Willow Brick Road. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Javette Desiree Lapointe.
Ms. Lapointe, you are here in 19 MM 5024. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence, possession of drug paraphernalia, and open container. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Ms. Lapointe?
There is not, Your Honor. That's because of our out on bond case.
I'm out on bond.
You are, ma'am. You have an open case. All right. Ma'am, your bond on count 1 is $500. Your bond on count 2 is $100. Your bond on count 3 is $100. And I'm going to take no action on 19 CF 5635. You ready, Mr. Nieves?
Yeah,
Okay. Did you have a chance to read the plea form?
I read it.
Okay. Do you have any questions about any
No.
of the rights? No? Are you on probation, sir?
No.
All right. Are you a United States citizen?
Yeah.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
All right. I'll accept your plea. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days time served.
I thought it was 1 day. You
No, wasn't it, I'm sorry.
It's
Sta-
4
was it-
days with credit for 2 days, I believe.
I misspoke, Mr. Davis, I apologize. You're gonna be sentenced to 4 days in the Orange County Jail, you have credit for 2, so that means you have 1 left, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, you also have to pay court costs, those are due by June 17th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. All right, thank you.
And he was out on bond, Your Honor, and.
Oh, I'm not gonna take any action on 19 MM 4991. Is there a court date set on that case, though, I wonder? It's too late. And what about Miss Rundle?
She refused yesterday as
Yeah,
well,
I'm
Your
gonna
Honor.
find a waiver for Miss Rundle based on her refusal to come to court. This is her second day refusing to come, 19 CF 8647. She was arrested for battery on law enforcement officer. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent her. Her bond is $2,500. I'm not gonna take any action on 19 CF 4978. Oh, okay. I'm just thinking he might not know that. State, just let me know whenever you're ready on the 33 days.
One moment, Your Honor. I believe they said the add-on docket we already did. Or
Correct.
they did it downtown.
Yep, Judge
So
Jordan took care of it this morning.
State's ready.
Okay. Uh, 19 CF 6929, William Bowden.
It should be granted the state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 19 CF 6670, Jamal LaFortune.
It should be denied. The state filed an information on 6/14.
That'll be denied. 19 CF 7037, Sherry Martin.
It should be denied. The state filed an information and request a transfer from felony to misdemeanor on 6/14.
That will be great. You said denied.
Denied, Your Honor, yes.
Thank you. Nineteen CF 6857, Alan Stedman.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That will be granted. 19 CF 6519, Rudy's Polino.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day on 6/14.
That will be granted. 19 MM 4149, Kimberly Atkins.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
19 CF 7509, Joseph Chirko.
Your Honor, this defendant, today is only the 21st day. This motion is not ripe.
Okay, I'm gonna deny the motion. 19 CF 6790, Samuel Cruz.
That should be denied. The state filed an information on 6/14.
That'll be denied. 19 CF 4960, Prentice Jackson.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 19 CF 4471, Prentice Jackson.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 19 CF 6924, Terry Cummings.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 19 CF 7026, Samuel Banker.
State is going to request that this get recalled at 1 o'clock, Your Honor.
19 CF 6911, Joseph Chirko.
That should be denied. The state filed an information on 6/14.
That'll be denied. 19 CF 6919, Samuel Cruz.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That will be granted. 19 CF 6920, Samuel Cruz.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
19 CF 6916 Leah Haga.
That should be granted the state final notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
I think that's everything.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, I'm Judge Amy Carter. This is courtroom 1, session 2. Could I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Kofi Kennedy Swanson on behalf of the Office of State Attorney.
Brian Wynn on behalf of the Office of Public Defender.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name, please?
Georgina Jerez.
Ma'am, this is case number 19 CF 8704. You were arrested for burglary of a dwelling with an assault or battery. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I'm going to order that you're not to have any contact with Claudia Sibyllin Idaquez. You're not to return to 5809 Macoma Drive, and you're not to possess any weapons or any firearms while out on bond. I'm going to set your bond, ma'am, at $2,500. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, tell me your name, please.
Jefferson Jimenez Sanchez.
Jefferson Jimenez Sanchez.
Sir, this is case number 19 CF 8700. You were arrested for robbery with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, petty theft, and resisting merchandise recovery. There is probable cause for all of the offenses. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I'm going to order that you're not to have any contact with Rhonda Clifton, and you're not to return to the 7-Eleven at 5494 Clarcona Ocoee Road. You're also not to possess any weapons or any firearms while out on bond. Your bond on count 1 is $5,000, your bond on count 2 is $150, and your bond on count 3 and 4 is $100. Thank you, sir. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Victor Manuel Sosa Vázquez.
Victor Manuel Sosa Vasquez.
Sir, this is case number 19 CF 8710. You were arrested for sexual battery with a deadly weapon by physical force, armed burglary of an occupied dwelling, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and false imprisonment with a weapon. There is probable cause for the offenses. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. State, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would ask the defendant be held at no bond based on proof evident presumption great. Looking at the affidavit by Michael Swanstein from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Your Honor, this case carries count 1 and 2, I believe, are punishable by life offenses. Counts 3 and 4, no objection to setting a bond. There is a 50-year min-man on the burglary on this case. I think that does also enrich the flight risk that this defendant may have. According to the victim and eyewitness, this defendant attempted to go into the neighbor's house at first. The neighbor then stopped him. The neighbor witnessed this defendant then pulling up, I believe, a lawn chair, trying to get into different windows of the victim's house. He then went around back of the house and was able to, I believe, get in one of the windows. That witness did identify the window that the defendant was able to finally get in. The victim said she was asleep. She woke up to the defendant, who is a neighbor that she recognized from the neighborhood, penetrating her vagina with his fingers. He then attempted to stick his penis inside of her. When that did not work, he asked her to roll over. During the entire time, he had a pair of scissors that he was threatening to kill her. After the victim said multiple times that she would not call the police, he then agreed to leave the residence. He did say during the incident that it was his first time and he wanted to rape someone, and that he had been watching her a lot lately. Your Honor, I believe based on the facts of the case in this affidavit, the defendant should be held at no bond as to count 1 and 2. No contact with the victim or witness, no return to the scene of the incident or the neighbor's house, no weapons, no firearms.
Mr. Wynn?
Your Honor, we will leave it in the discretion of the court.
At this time, I find that the state has met their burden to establish that there is proof evident or presumption great based upon the information contained in the probable cause affidavit.
No, I didn't do.
Please don't talk, sir, okay? Everything's being recorded in this room, okay? So I don't want that to be used against you later. Bond on count 1 is going to remain at none. Bond on count 2 will remain at none. Bond on count 3 is going to be $7,500, and bond on count 4 will be $5,000. He also has case number 19 CF 8712, burglary of an occupied dwelling. There's probable cause for that offense as well. And I'll appoint the public defender in that case. Bond in that one is $5,000. You're not to have any contact with Naomi Fallow or return to 219 South Atlas Drive. In 19 CF 8710, you are not to have any contact with the victim in that matter or return to 215 South Atlas Drive. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Asila Baruf. Asiel.
Asiel? Sir, this is case number 19 CT 4235. This is your arraignment for the offense of reckless driving. You are represented by the Office of the Public Defender. How would he like to proceed, Mr. Wynn?
Your Honor, at this time, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay. Oh, both. And then there's also 19 CT 4236, which is a driving while license suspended or revoked. Would you like to enter a not guilty plea on that as well?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't have that in front of me, but we'll enter a plea of not guilty as well on that.
Okay.
Division 62, pretrial conference date will be July 25th at 8:30 a.m., courtroom 9B.
Could you,
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Aurelio Serafín.
Aurelio Serafin Juarez.
Sir, you're here in case number 19 MM 5069. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi.
You speak English?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Could you tell me your name, please?
Raquel Perez Escano?
Miss President, are you Mr. Serafin Juarez's wife?
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to have contact with him?
Yes.
All right. Are you afraid of him?
I was that night.
Okay. Are you now?
No.
Has anything like that ever happened before?
Earlier in the relationship, yes.
Do you have any concerns about your children's safety?
No.
State, did you have any questions for the witness?
Were drugs or alcohol related to this incident?
Alcohol?
If something happened in the future, would you feel comfortable in calling the police or 911?
Yes.
No further questions, just argument, Your Honor.
I have no questions, Your Honor.
Go ahead, State.
We have no objection. Sorry, can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Do you have an objection to him being released without having to post a bond on pretrial release?
I don't have any objection, no.
Okay. So state would have no objection to pre-TR, Your Honor. We would ask for no alcohol and RUA, also no weapons.
All right. At this time, I'm going to order, sir, that you're not to have any hostile contact with your wife. Do you understand what that means? Okay. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. You're also not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal substances while you're out in the community, and I'm going to place you on pretrial release. Do you understand, ma'am?
Can you explain the pretrial release?
Sure. So instead of having to post money to get him out of jail, he's going to be supervised by the pretrial release services. So they're going to make sure that he's going to have to check in with them. They're going to monitor him for use of alcohol or drugs. And that's what we will use to monitor him in the community until his case is resolved.
Does that mean that he will have to meet with the police every week, every month?
It's not the police.
Like a correction officer?
Correct. And I don't know how often it will be.
It's once a month.
Once a month.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And Your Honor, did you order no weapons as well?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name? I think the microphone.
Zoraida Estrada.
Do you need it closer to you? There you go. You're Miss Estrada?
Zoraida Estrada.
This is 19 CF 8722. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. At this time, I'm going to order that you're not to have any contact with Raul Santana. You're to maintain a separate residence from Mr. Santana, and you are not to possess any weapons or any firearms while out on bond.
Yes.
I'm going to set your bond at $1,500, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Madam Interpreter, I believe those are all the Spanish cases.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you so much. You too. Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Antoinette Jackson.
Ms. Jackson, you're here in 19 CF 8716. You were arrested for possession of ecstasy. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $1,000, and in 19 CF 3625, I'll take no action in that case. Okay, let's reset. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Gregory Phillips.
Mr. Phillips, this is case number 19 CF 8715. You were arrested for possession of ecstasy. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $500, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
What about? Leave it up?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Christina Rodriguez.
Ms. Rodriguez, this is 19 CF 8713. You were arrested for aggravated battery. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Ma'am, you're not to have any contact with Sherry Isbell. What is 2500 Discovery Drive? Do you know, State?
I have one moment, Your Honor.
It says it's a university behavioral center?
Yes,
Is
okay.
what it says it is?
Yep, it's UBC, okay.
Yes.
All right. Ms. Rodriguez, you're also not to possess any weapons or any firearms, ma'am, while you're out on bond. Can I set your bond, ma'am, at $1,000 in that case? And then in 19 CF 8357, I'm gonna revoke your bond at this time, and I'm gonna set that at none. Thank you. Good afternoon, your name?
James Velez Ruiz.
Sir, you're here in case number 19 CF 8158. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. Your affidavit seeking the appointment of the public defender states that you make $1,000 every 2 weeks. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you don't have any kids or any family members that you take care of?
No.
All right, so you don't qualify for the public defender's office. You make too much money. You're gonna have to try and hire a lawyer before your next court date. If you're unable to hire a lawyer, let the judge know, and they can revisit the issue with you at that time. You are not to have any contact with Noah McHenry. You're not to return to the Speedway at 9520 South OBT. And your bond is gonna be $3,500. Thank you, sir. Mr. Nguyen, or actually Dexter, can I bring him back really quickly? I'm sorry. Mr. Velez, you're also not to possess any weapons or any firearms while you're out on bond, do you understand?
No problem.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, your name?
Yao Chen.
Mr. Chen, this is 19 CT 4465. You were arrested for obstructing traffic to solicit without a permit. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Chen?
Adjudication, 5 days.
And Mr. Chen will enter a plea of no contest.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Chen, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up, sir?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to
No, ma'am.
understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day time served. You also have to pay court costs. Those are due by June 17th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chen? Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Yes, ma'am. Bill Pollard.
Mr. Pollard, you were arrested for DUI with property damage, reckless driving, and driving while license suspended. There is probable cause for these offenses. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $100, and your bond on count 3 is $100. So you also have reporting requirements when you're released from the jail.
Excuse me?
You have reporting requirements when you are released from the jail.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Vallejo? So earlier we were talking about the 33-day motion from last week. Not gonna do anything with respect to that case, but there is another one that we did this morning that I'm gonna do an amended order on. Ms. Kenny Swanson, you may wanna take a look at what they're sending you, because this is another case where they were only in for 7 days.
What's the case number?
And I'm gonna do an amended order since it was done this morning. 19 CF 4960, Prentice Jackson.
So he was arrested on 5/13.
And then they bonded on 5/15.
Okay. I have
And then, right, the bond was revoked on 6/12, and then today we signed I signed the ROR. But maybe, like, I don't know what you can send to the office, but to have those checked, because I know you explained earlier, they send you a list, or they send you, the individual lawyers send you their case. Because that's 2, like Friday and then today.
We had one today that we denied because I could tell that it was not the right date.
Okay.
Remember there was one early, I don't remember, I can look back at my notes, see who that person was. And then we had a reset from this morning.
Yes, hold on. So Ms. Jackson had 2 cases, and they both are not sufficient 33 days or 30 days?
They were both revoked.
Okay. But I would still revoke the, I mean, the bond was, I revoked the bond based on a new law offense, right? Which that would say the same, but then the 33-day motion would just be denied. Yes.
Correct.
For both of those. Yes. And then we had 19 CF 7026, Samuel Banker.
The state has not made a charging decision on that, Your Honor. I
So
did
that
reach
will-
out to my counterpart.
That will be granted.
Mr. Nguyen, if you can also tell your counterparts to make sure they're calculating the dates as well,
Right.
like when they're filing the motions.
So I'm not gonna sign a 33-day motion unless the person's been in custody for 30 consecutive days.
Right.
I mean, if they wanna make an argument, they can, but I think that the law says they have to be for 30 consecutive
The
days.
case laws, yeah, it has.
Right.
All right.
And we're not gonna, and the other issue of the.
Mr. Brown, I'm not gonna readdress.
Mr. Brown, we're not gonna address that. Okay.